Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're doing what makes you stand out. Now to do this reading we will be picking out 4 piles together. So 1, I see 2 sticking out there, 3, and I see 4. Let's see what your piles are. And so for pile number 1, we have Pimpernel. For pile number 2, we have Oak. For pile number 3, we have Hawthorn. And for pile number 4, we have Bluebell. If you like to pick with crystals, let me add these right in. There we go. For pile number 1, we have the Amazonite, and this is what it looks like. For pile number 2, we have the Lapis Lazulie, and this is what it looks like. For pile number 3, we have the blue Howlite, and this is what it looks like. And for pile number 4, we have the Sodalite, and this is what it looks like. Ooh, there we go. So, take a look at which one of these 4 piles or 4 crystals you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, always trust your intuition because it will guide you to the right readings. This is your magic in play. So make use of it. Know that it will guide you to your right readings always. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Hey soul family, if you love the card picking process and the shuffling, I left this part specifically for you. And if you're interested in any of the decks that I use, I always leave their names down in the description box. Okay, let's start our process together. So we'll be using these oracle decks, 1, 2, and 3. And let's start shuffling with intention. Can we kindly know what makes the 4 piles stand out, please? What makes the 4 piles stand out? Can we kindly know what makes the 4 piles stand out? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's get to our next deck and shuffle with intention again. And that's the right way up. So what makes the 4 piles stand out, please? What makes them stand out? What makes the 4 piles stand out? Apologies, I had to take the sound off. So, what makes you stand out? What makes you stand? Well, these are definitely standing out, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lovely. let's take our last oracle deck. What makes them stand out, please? What makes them stand out? Can we kindly know what makes the 4 piles stand out, please? Thank you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Great. Now onto our tarot cards. Let's pick this one first. So we'll be taking 2 from these, 2 from these, and 1 from this one. Is it the right way up? Yes. Okay. So what makes them stand out, please? Can we kindly know what makes them stand out? Thank you. So 1, 1, 1, and 1. Okay, that feels right. 2. There we go. Let's pick our next deck. What makes our 4 piles stand out, please? What makes them stand out? Thank you. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and I feel this one, and 2. Lovely. Now we're taking 1 card from this deck. What makes them stand out, please? Kindly give us detailed, accurate information about what makes them stand out, please. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I believe we're now ready. All we need to do is to put them together in a neat way. All right, so let's pick up pile number 1. There we go. That was easy today. All right, so pile number 1 is ready. Let's put the Amazonite. There we go. Pile number 2. Ooh, loving this. Very easy today. All right, pile number 2 is also ready. Let's add the Lapis Lazuli on top. There we go. Pile number 3. Loving that today. All right. There we go, pile number 3. And let's add the blue Howlite at the top. And now for pile number 4. Ooh. There we go. Love that today. Loving how it's gliding. And the Sodalite. There we go. I believe we have prepared our 4 piles and are now ready to conduct your reading. I wish you a wonderful reading today that is accurate, that resonates, that is fully supported and assisted by spirit and your spirit guides, so that you can not just learn more about yourself, but get to know more about the unique things about you that makes you stand out, so that you can further appreciate it and use it to further improve your life. And let's get on to your reading. Hi, pile number 1. So you have chosen the beautiful Amazonite as well as the Pimpernel. Now, I'm already through your card and your stone seeing a part of your personality that is really highlighted, but let's first take a look at the rest of your cards and get a clearer picture of what makes you stand out. Ooh, you have the elk. Let me adjust that so you can see. There we go. Okay. You have student, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. I gotta say, I'm loving your character, pile number 1. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. But first, we have Saturn in Scorpio with inheritance. Okay. So this together now is spelling out classy. You're a very classy person, pile number 1. It's one of the things that totally make you stand out. And I will show you exactly what I'm seeing in detail when we reveal the rest of your cards. So you have the Sun card. Wow. Talk about standing out. You sure do, pile number 1, for sure. Effortlessly is what I'm seeing. You effortlessly stand out. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, this is coming beautiful. All right, you have the 5 of Cups. You have the 4 of Pentacles. Gosh, your personality is so clear. And you have the Hanging Woman, which is the Hanged Man and the Rider in Tarot. Okay. So what I'm obviously seeing here, pile number 1, like I said, is that you seem to be a very classy person. Taking a look at all of this together, you have all the aspects here of a classy person. First of all, with the Pimpernel, the Pimpernel is known to be the shepherd's weather glass. And the reason for that is because the Pimpernel shuts down at noon and only opens up when the next time the sun is coming. If it were to rain, it wouldn't open at all. Now, taking a look at this card and your stone, which is the Amazonite, which is all about filtration of the environment, taking negativity out of the environment, helping you take out negative thoughts and so on. It's all about filtration. I see something very common here, which is you having the capability to filter out negativity and drama and immature behavior out of your life, especially that you're presented here in your reading as the elk. And the elk personality is someone who is responsible. Actually, the elk make great parents, great leaders, great caretakers, godfathers and godmothers. They have this a combination of being a very responsible person and a very mature, loving person at the same time, caring and loving. So there's an air of grace to you, as well as you being very discerning about what type of energy you bring in. Along with that, I do not see any arrogance with the student card. And so there's a lot of humility, devotion to knowledge here. Not only do you love learning, but you're not operating from an egoistic place that comes from lack. And so you're very open to being corrected. You're very open to apologizing when you're wrong. You're very open to learning new things. And so if someone corrects you or tells you new information that you didn't know about, you wouldn't act in an arrogant way, trying to correct them and trying to fight back. No, you would gracefully and elegantly listen to it, learn from it, and thank the person for giving you this information. So there's an air of elegance to you. And when the inheritance card came out, this really kind of confirmed it for me, because it kind of shows that you were brought up this way, to behave this way. Perhaps you even had parents who were loving, one or both, who were loving and passed on an elegant attitude to you, listened to you well, and taught you to treat others with humility and kindness and grace. So this energy of elegance comes out effortlessly to you. It exudes from you, in fact, with the Sun card. It's one of the very things that makes you stand out, my dear pile number 1. And we see with the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles shows us many things, but one of the things that I admire about the Knight of Pentacles is that the Knight of Pentacles is steadfast. The Knight of Pentacles does things slowly but surely and makes sure that it's done. And so here I kind of have the impression that there's elegance to the way you move and the way you walk in specific. Pile number 1. There's a lot of grace in your energy, and it exudes not just from your behavior, but also, from your character, but also with the way you move. There is elegance in your walk. There's pride in your walk. There is confidence to you, graceful confidence, where you know your self-worth very well. You would not allow anyone to disrespect you. And so there's power that comes with that, with you knowing that with the 5 of Cups, you're willing to... Do you see here the 5 of Cups? I'll get back to my thought. But do you see here the 5 of Cups is depicted in a very interesting way. We see this figure holding the moon and covering themselves with a scarf. It kind of shows me that you consult your emotions when you feel like something doesn't feel entirely right. Yes, it might hurt to walk away, but you do decide to walk away from these people. And that is clarified by the 4 of Pentacles, keeping to yourself. And so, yes, you do feel with the 5 of Cups that it would hurt if dear ones especially brought in drama, tried to maybe stab you in the back, or try to do anything that does not align with your values. Yes, it would hurt, but some people would continue to engage with these people. I see that you hold yourself off from them right away. As much as it hurts, you listen to your intuition. You don't allow anyone to disrespect you in any way or to deal in an immature way because you would rather keep this peaceful aura. You would rather keep your values intact. And so this is why you would hold off with the Four of Pentacles. You would do it in an elegant way with all these flowers showing up in the reading. No drama with ending any kind of connection. For sure, you do it elegantly and gracefully, but you do it firmly. Even if it's going to hurt for a long while and you might take time to heal the pain resulting from that. But one thing is for sure, you know that you're not going to allow it in your life. You would just choose to keep this elegant aura around you, the values that you believe in and the beautiful energy around you in your life, rather than get into something that you know is wrong and immature, and you're certainly not going to stoop down to a level where you lose your ethical standards and beliefs about how you should behave with others. Pile number 1. So your reading is really screaming elegance. It's screaming you standing out in general, the air that you exude, the way you dress, as we've seen with the scarf here and the beautiful flowers. You're depicted as someone who knows how to take care of themselves very well, and you attract attention effortlessly by just existing. Pile number 1. Now, with the Hanged Man here, you can see that even though this figure is upside down in a tricky situation, they seem to be having fun during that, as they're swinging upside down. So I would see here, pile number 1, one of the things that truly make you stand out to people is that when you're in a situation that is hard, that is tough, tricky, challenging situation, people know you're in a challenging situation, you seem to deal with it in such a graceful way. You're not out there complaining, being angry, treating other people in a mean way just because you're feeling bad. You have yourself put together. You're still smiling gracefully to people. You're still pleasant. Do you see how this beautiful figure is smiling? You're still contributing in life in such a soft, tranquil, serene way. And choosing to deal with it and heal in privacy. And perhaps in the privacy of your own home or with the dear or close people to you. Especially that we have 2 Alaskan flowers here, and I read about them. One of them, I believe, was that helps in healing, and another one was sweet nectar, which further shows that one of the things that makes you stand out is the peaceful way, the peaceful process that you go through to heal, and how your gentleness and sweetness and class never fades away from your character. It's part of who you are and what you exude. You are a very genuinely a classy, graceful person. Another thing that I noticed with this beautiful hanged man is that, do you see how this figure has their hands free, not attached to anything? Despite them being upside down, you think they'd want to catch into something or stay still. You see this figure being free, not holding on to anything. And this really shows me that one of the things that make you stand out is that during challenges, you're not attached to anything. You're not afraid of losing materialistic things or your finances or losing someone. You hold them dear. There's no question about it. But it's never going to be the reason for your suffering. You are a very accepting person. Yes, you would try to do your best slowly and maturely to fix things. But if after you doing your best in such a responsible way, it doesn't work. You're not attached to anything. Nothing holds you down. You value your freedom. You're accepting, which is the most important thing. You're accepting of whatever happens. Apologies for the sound. And you take your time with the moon phases here. You take your time to heal fully. During that time with the Hanged Man, you would perhaps recluse a little bit, keep to yourself until you fully heal in private, and then be able to get out into the world and shine again. This way you always keep your privacy, you always keep your respect, and you keep your elegance intact. And it really amazes people, as I can see here in your reading, pile number 1. Another thing that I'm seeing with the students, you seem to be a very intellectual person. Not only are you beautifully kept on the outside, gorgeous looking on the outside, but you are someone who is very cerebral as well. You like to take your time to read about different things. You like to have cerebral conversations. You always keep yourself busy learning about one thing or the other. Information fascinates you. And so when people talk with you, your ideas and the information that you share and how you put things together and analyze it really makes you stand out. People love listening to you, love hearing the information that you have, pile number 1. It truly makes you stand out from your community. In fact, I was just looking at that caught my attention, and I thought of the words. I heard something during the reading. What was it? Oh, the last of the good ones, something like that. The last of the good family, something like that. And so if I were to analyze all of that, I think this puts you in a very unique spot. Can you see that? No, let me adjust that. There we go. It puts you in a very unique spot, pile number 1. It's like you are, the way you act, the elegance that you exude, and who you are as a character is one of the few remaining characters in the world. With inheritance, it's like you've inherited a lot of class or a lot of good teachings that was really passed on to you. And for some reason, your card is really showing that you're one of the very few people who are left in the world. Wow, it's 25-25 as we said that. Amazing. Who are unique with that type of characteristic. Pile number 1, I would love to get to know you in the comment section. If you're pile number 1, please leave a sun emoji. I would love to get to know you, my dear pile number 1. I'm so lucky to have connected with such beautiful, graceful energy here. I always say I'm very lucky I have this type of energy in my channel. I mean, there's you guys are different, but you guys are very unique at the same time. And it makes me very grateful to get to know you, pile number 1. You know, taking a look at the antlers, this reminds me of the Swedish goddess, I think it was Bevi. Yeah, the sun goddess Bevi and her daughter Bevinida. They would, after a long winter, long dark winter, they would come back high up in the sky, Bevi and Bevinida, in a sled made of antler horns, and they would ride the sky, bringing optimism back, life back after a long winter during the summertime. And so once Apologies, had to adjust my chair. So once, a long time ago, Bevinida decided to go down and spend time with people, left the sky, left her mother, and spent time with the people down on earth. And people loved her. She was so knowledgeable. She helped out. People loved listening to her, giving off the same type of energy that I'm seeing here in your reading overall, pile number 1. And so they've learned so much from Bevinida, and she has taught them about sewing and knitting and agriculture and you name it. After a while, oh, it's funny, you even have the sun. So after a while, after enjoying Bevinida so much, they started feeling jealous of Bevinida and how she was shining so bright, and how she was so articulate, and she had all of this information, and they started being jealous of her, and they started treating her badly. They were growing jealous of her endless talent. And so at some point they trapped Bevinida and crushed her beneath a giant rock. And so Bevinida, with a heavy heart, returned back to the sky with her mother, the sun goddess, and she's never come back since. And that's the sort of dynamic that I'm seeing here. You shine so bright, pile number 1. You stand out by nature with your endless talents, with the endless. See, this is why I'm saying I'm seeing you're very unique, one of the very few in the world. This is what I'm seeing. And so people enjoy you so much. They look at you and wonder in the beginning. They love your energy. They want to bask in this grace and this intellect that you offer, the love that you give. They love to watch your confidence and how you exude. But after a while, just like Bevinida, jealousy grows, the dynamic changes, and you certainly, with the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles, as we discussed, you pull away and you never come back. When you pull away, you've learned the energy, you don't come back. And you remain a beautiful memory, perhaps to people who keep thinking, but why did pile number 1 leave? What did we do? You know? And why are we in the cold? Remember when pile number 1 did this? Remember when we enjoyed that? Sometimes you probably have people obsessing about you, trying to reach back, but it's over. You never come back. You have hard walls, very hard to access, in fact. Very hard to access you, pile number 1, it seems. And only those who you choose to have access to you will and can have access to you, pile number 1. Perhaps why we're so drawn to the Amazonite with filtration. There's so much filtration in your character. And so unfortunately, your value raises even more when you cut people off like that and genuinely never come back, because they realize that they had a gem that they truly lost and cannot get back. Wow, pile number 1. I cannot begin to tell you what an honor it is for me to have done a reading like this to wonderful people like you. I'm so blessed to have beautiful people like this on the channel. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you always stay and that I bask in this beautiful energy. I promise you, I will always appreciate it. And pile number 1, this was your reading. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book. You might be interested in it because it's small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate on reading it. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away. all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to the book down in the description box. And pile number 1, it was such a pleasure. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. So you have chosen the Lapis Lazuli as well as the oak. Strong energy here. Okay, let's keep them here and take a look at the rest of your cards and find out exactly what makes you stand out. Pile number 2. Right, so our first oracle card for this reading, wow, is the shark. Interesting character. I know I'm gonna love your pile. All right, you have Prince. Ooh. Okay, romantic charm and potential for power. Of course. Of course. I love when the reading is so synchronistic. You just see, you know that you're getting information straight from spirit. You have the moon in Pisces with empathy. Interesting that this came here. It adds another layer to your reading here. How beautiful. Oh, yes, it's going along. Right. Going along beautifully. Now, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So, you have the 6 of Cups. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I'm not surprised at all. You have also the Tower. Okay. And you have the 3 of Swords. Beautiful 3 of Swords. I mean, the 2 of them together. My goodness. And ending your reading, you have the Judgment card. My God. So the first thing we can see from your reading, in fact, if we were to give it a label, I would, without doubt, call you a very powerful person. In fact, you will always notice that a lot of the times when they depict oak, they would always leave a thunderstorm. And that the reason for that is because ancient civilizations, they've noticed that oak trees, they attract a thunder to them more often than not. And so the oak represented life force, vitality, and strength. Not to mention that the thunder in itself is a symbol for power. Taking a look at the shark, there's so much I want to tell you about the shark when we get there. But again, the shark shows true power, hunting, going after what you want, being fierce is the energy that I'm seeing around you. But at the same time, the thing that makes you stand out, my dear pile number 1. You do see here with the Prince, we have romantic charm and potential for power. So there is this combination of both love and charm and power. You also have the moon in Pisces here with empathy. So you come across as someone who is powerful, but yet has a beautiful heart. And this is further confirmed by the 6 of Cups. There's childlike, air of childlike energy to you. You come across as playful, charming, sweet talker. But at the same time, you do one disrespectful thing and you go hunted down like a shark. You even have, centering your reading, the Tower and the 3 of Swords. My goodness. Do you see how your cards are depicting you here? You do not hesitate to show how powerful you are, and how much, to what extent you can do. Your power shows clearly from you, and just how much you're not afraid, and how much there is power exuding from you effortlessly. And it hurts people. They learn very quickly, pile number 2, not to mess with you. And your strong character, your strength, your power exudes from you, despite the fact that you initially could perhaps appear as quite charming and loving. But make a mistake with you, and people will soon learn that you're not easy to deal with at all. And your words, your actions, even your energy, your strength, your confidence scares people. It hurts. And people learn very quickly that you are not to be messed with. And that makes you stand out boldly in your community. Pile number 2. Wow. And the beautiful thing that I'm seeing here in your energy is that you're not using your power at all times where it's coming from a shadow place of need, of wanting to control, of wanting to appear strong. Not at all. Usually you are charming, you are sweet, you're playful, but at the same time, people get to see very quickly your rough side when things don't go right. And it goes like a thunder all of a sudden. And it's scary when you go dark. You're scary, my dear pile number 2. And this combination of strength and empathy and charm really makes you stand out with the people. It highlights your charm even more. It highlights your looks even more. It highlights your character even more. It's kind of like, sad to say, but it brings spice to your already charming personality. This is kind of like a lot of people sometimes experience love through fear, or they feel like this extra harshness brings spicing up. I don't know why I'm hearing that and I'm seeing that, but yeah, it brings spice to your character to a lot of people. Of course, not everyone is like that, but to some people this is very spicy and they love you for it. Pile number 2. In all cases, this combination definitely makes you stand out. With the Queen of Pentacles here, you're really seen. People feel like you're quite independent in the fact that you know how to take care of yourself. With your strength, you're able to hunt down, just like the shark, whatever you need in life. And so this nonchalant energy that exudes from you as well, showing that you don't need anyone, you don't need favors. Yes, you would like to help because you're a person who has empathy and loves to give. But at the same time, you're not doing it to get something. You're detached in that way. And that again brings a lot of respect to you. And it makes you stand out from the crowd. People know that you're talking to them because you genuinely want to talk to them. You're already strong. You don't need people. And to them, they are so lucky that you chose to speak to them and to charm them. You don't need anything from anyone. You're very reliant on yourself, very independent, and you're not waiting for anything from anyone. And so again, it further increases your charm, pile number 2, and it really makes people feel, charmed or privileged to be connecting with you and speaking to you. What a character, my dear pile number 2. Now, taking a look at the Judgment card here, noticing that you also have the Queen of Pentacles and the Shark together, I'm picking up that you are someone who's very fierce. Fierce is not really the right word. I would say very hungry about getting the best things for yourself. And so there's hunger to reaching goals, or hunger to getting the things that you want, hunger towards being who you want to be. And it just doesn't stop. And with the snake depicted in the Judgment card, this is changing of skin. And so I would say rising from your current situation constantly, changing who you are, changing skin, literally. You could be changing physically as well, changing your financial circumstances, changing a current situation that you don't like. You're someone who knows how to deal with the challenges that you have in life, because you're very proactive. And so people watch you in amazement. If you don't like a certain situation with a coworker, or a situation with a landlord, a situation with anything really in life, you go out, you negotiate it, you make sure that you get your rights back as much as possible without hurting anyone. But you are determined to voice out your opinion, to speak out and say the things that feel wrong. You know, you always have this advice to people. Hey, why didn't you tell them to do that if they hurt you, if they did you wrong? And people could perhaps tell you, oh, I was shy, or I really didn't know how to handle your situation. You would really be lending an ear and a helping hand, telling others what to do and how to handle the situation. You could also be sometimes leading the situation, helping people out who would call you for that kind of thing. Also, people are amazed with your capability of single-handedly, most of the time, handling your issues all by yourself. They are impressed with how you change. So people really notice that you have a knack for life and for new things. They know that every once in a while they'll see you embarking into a new hobby, hearing about something exciting and trying it yourself. You're always searching for the next exciting thing, how to improve yourself. You read, you come across something and read about a new study that shows something, and now you're really interested in it, and then you hop into it and you adopt that and learn from it. And so there are many aspects to your character that has made you this very interesting person over the years, because you have a very open mind to learn new things and to not just learn, but to harbor new things into your life, whether this is information or new habits, or a new idea, or a new activity. You're very open to change. People see you excited, and some people say, gosh, I couldn't keep up with pile number 2. It's so tiresome. They just see you being excited about life, always going after one thing or the other, living life to the fullest, being bold and fierce, and doing exciting things, really, that others sometimes find to be truly intimidating. I wouldn't be surprised that some of you or one of you would be jumping out of airplanes. What is it called? I can't remember. With parachutes, any exciting thing that crosses your path, you're willing to learn and embark on it because it's an exciting experience. Or maybe some of you are divers. You're up to many interesting things that make truly interesting and charming stories for others to hear later. Do you see how this person is holding flowers at the back of their back? They're holding the flowers, hiding it, showing that they always have a surprise up their sleeve. They always have an interesting story to say, a lovely memory to share, a lovely joke that they heard here and there, you know? And another thing that I'm seeing that makes you stand out, pile number 2, is I see your capability of keeping people's attention, making them listen to you. People in general love listening to you. You always have something interesting to say. You know how to command respect. You know how to entertain. And so quickly people realize that you're the center of the crowd or the party. And your character in this way as well makes you really stand out. You have the capability here of maintaining your respect without getting yourself into drama. I see you have a harsh tongue when it's needed. And so if someone, for example, tried to humiliate you, right? You would have a very witty, quick comeback. In fact, this reminds me of a comeback I read 2 days ago. I heard someone say, after a very rude comment, I don't remember what the comment was, but I remember after a rude comment, and I was like, whoa, that was rude. And quickly, this guy said, you're not the dumbest person in the world. You're not the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope he doesn't die or something. I wouldn't use this, but that was strong. It was quick. It was witty. You can see that type of quick hit back. And I really wouldn't see you use that type of meanness with anyone, but you certainly would use it if someone was rude. You're very quick and witty. People quickly regret that they messed with you or tried to be rude with you. Pile number 2. So this really reminded me of that comment that I heard. Yeah, very snarky, very sharp. And at the end of the day, people love you and admire you because, as you can see here, you're someone who doesn't choose to be mean, but you're going to choose to hit back if someone gives you a rude comment, for sure. Overall, pile number 2, what makes you stand out is your poise, how you're standing strong, your character and how you're able to speak and entertain others, and what an interesting person in general that you are. Your capability of hunting down what you want and being independent. Wow, pile number 2. Wow. And you deserve really the Lapis Lazuli because the king commands respect, and that's the air that you exude. And the reason I'm saying king is, as you may know, the Lapis Lazuli was one of the most sought after crystals by the ancient Egyptians for many reasons. And so it reminds me of royalty. It reminds me of the kingdom. And here I feel like you for sure command that same respect as a king walking into the room. Or a queen, of course, walking into the room. So pile number 2, I had a great pleasure doing this reading for you. It was so lovely getting to know you. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book. You might be interested in it because it's small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate on reading it. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to that ebook down in the description box. And pile number 2, it was such a pleasure. I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. So you have chosen the beautiful blue Howlite as well as the Hawthorn. Quite interesting already. Let's now take a look first at your oracle cards to see what makes you stand out, pile number 3. So you have, wow, speaking of standing out, you have the starfish. Let me adjust that. Oh, again. Lovely. Okay. You have, it's really cool having the starfish in a reading of what makes you stand out, because here I'm seeing you naturally stand out. There was another pile that naturally stood out. But here you naturally stand out, I'm seeing, for different reasons, and I'll get to that in a second. Okay, now I'm sure you have poet with expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. You have Jupiter in Aquarius with innovation. Loving the energy of this pile very much. Okay. Let's now take a look at your tarot cards. So you have the 7 of Cups. You have the 7, another 7 of Swords. Okay. You have the 9 of Swords. The 5 of Swords. A lot of swords in your reading. For sure, yeah. You have Justice ending your reading. How interesting. So, what I clearly see here as one of the reasons you stand out is because there's a lot of, first and foremost, there are so many reasons, but what I'm clearly picking up in your pile here is you tend to come across as very attractive with the starfish, and especially the Hawthorn as well, pile number 3. And the poet, there's something attractive and charming about you. That with the Aquarius, I would say very mystical, very unique, unique attractiveness that makes you very mysterious. You know how there are so many types of attractive people around the world, and then what you're reminding me of is Angelina Jolie, for example, who is very attractive, but she has her own mood, her own way of displaying her attractiveness, And so that's the kind of combination I'm seeing here. You're very interesting to listen to, and you dress in a very attractive way that is quite unique to you. All in all, you really stand out. You're very desirable is one of the things that truly make you stand out. And the reason that I'm saying that is because you have the Hawthorn, and the Hawthorn is in Celtic mythology was one of the most sacred trees. And the reason for that is that is because they called it the fairy tree, where they believe the fairies lived under it as its guardians. And so there is so much, people give you respect straight away for many reasons, but certainly because of how you look. You know what this combination is reminding me of? It's reminding me of a term called pretty privilege. And so there is an alluring, unique type of attractiveness to you that instantly makes people give you attention. And the reason I feel like, another layer that I feel like this truly has to do with people being attracted to you, not only pile number 3, but it's coming out very strong, is because the Hawthorn is a symbol of love and protection. And for this reason, brides would come and pick these beautiful red berries and wear it on their veils on their wedding day, symbolic of their love and protection of their love. And so there's a lot of energy here, as I'm picking up, of attractiveness. People love listening to you. The way you dress, the way you present yourself is very unique and alluring. Attractive in your ideas, in how you dress, in the things that you're interested in. Yes, that type of thing. And you have the blue Howlite, which is a throat chakra stone. It enhances communication. And again, you can see the poet here. And so you see someone speaking here poetically. So I would say one of the attractive things about you, pile number 3, is the way you speak, the way you present yourself, the ideas. Perhaps your ideas are very progressive and people aren't able to figure you out with the 7 of Cups. Who is this person? They look so interesting. I'm not sure I met a character like that. The things they say are so interesting. They're good to hear because they make so much sense. And it's a perspective that I have never heard before. Where are they from? What are they doing in their lives? Along with that, you have an attractive appearance that's quite unique to you. And so with all of that, pile number 3, you come across as a very attractive person. Indeed. Wow, I would love to get to know you, pile number 3. And I heard the words credit, to credit you. And then my eyes fell on the 7 of Swords. This makes me understand that you are so unique, in fact, pile number 3, that people tend to steal your style, steal your ideas. They try to play you even sometimes. You might see that some people even don't want to credit you for it. They would take your ideas and claim it as theirs. And I'm sure this is something that sometimes stresses you a little bit or annoys you a little bit, pile number 3. Not the fact that they took it, but the fact that they're lying about it is what I'm seeing here. But at the end of the day, even with the 9 of Swords, I'm seeing you as calm, tranquil, nonchalant, and sleeping, even in your 9 of Swords. Pile number 3, which is a card about stress, anxiety, not worrying, perhaps. There are so many meanings to it. But even with that, in combination with the 7 of Swords, even if you're bothered, you're not too bothered. And seeing that in a reading of what makes you stand out, this shows me that you're not too worried about people copying you, because it's not all you have. You're an interesting person and you continue to bring out unique things. You're very creative. You're very creative is not just the word I'm looking for. Interesting. You're very interesting. There's so much for you to present. In fact, with the Justice card, you see a seed being planted, and we'll talk about it in a second. But I feel like you take that away, I'm going to plant something else, and it's just not going to stop. Just like agriculture. It's endless with you. They can take whatever they want. It's certainly not a pleasure for you, for them to pretend to be you. But at the same time, you're really nonchalant about it as well. You don't see, people don't see you nagging or complaining about it or trying to put others down. You're not too focused on that. You have so much other things on your mind and you let it go. Pile number 3. Such an interesting character. Loving you, pile number 3. Yeah, we can already see your character here and what makes you truly stand out. Now, taking a look at the 5 of Swords and how interesting it's depicted here. With the 5 of Swords, you usually see people taking their rights back, perhaps. It could be sometimes done in an aggressive way or in a way where it doesn't consider others just because they're looking after their needs at the moment, or some people acting in a selfish way and stabbing others just to get what they want. But you do see this 5 of Swords in specific, or the 5 of Voices as it's called, with people being calm, tranquil, and meditating, which really shows me that you really pick your battles. You're not easily baited. And so even if you don't like something or a certain argument or something that someone has done, you're very witty and smart and strategic. You save your actions for when you need it. You see how they're not sprinkling, what's the word called? Dangling. They're dangling some olives there. And you can see that you pick your opportunities. And when it's time for you to make a point, then you would use your strongest argument to prove your point. And so that makes you perhaps a great negotiator or someone who is considered very smart and able to get what they need or their message across. Because you're very good, very smart about how to get your rights back. And so you're not out there fighting and arguing with people constantly because of the little things they do. You let it go and you wait for that one moment where it's going to prove everything that you were talking about and go bam, hit it right in the bud. And so people stand by you. They see your point. And so if we were to take a look at why this is appearing in your reading of what makes you stand out, this would show that we've seen the underlying behavior now. We've seen the underlying cause. Now, what's appearing on the outside is that you're someone who seems to be pretty logical, who makes smart arguments. And that's why I have the throat chakra and the poet as well. You're very smart with your words. This could also indicate that you have certain causes that you truly believe in. And that's perhaps why you have the Justice card here. You have certain causes that you truly believe in. You know you want to make some sort of change in the world. Yeah, avant-garde with the Aquarius here. I think avant-garde is also in English, right? Yes, I think it is also. Progressive in the way you think. And so You don't tend to protect your causes or voice out your causes in just about every argument. You wait for the right moments to prove your point and to prove that something is wrong. And from there, it becomes some sort of teaching lesson so that people genuinely listen to you. They say, you know what? Pile number 3 is actually right. They're very right about this point. And this way you truly help people see a different perspective that they haven't seen before. You try to rectify things that aren't right in the world. You have a heart for that. You want to speak out the truth, but you want your words to matter. And that's why you pick your battles, my dear pile number 3. And the way you present your strong points about the causes that you believe in truly makes you stand out. People remember the points that you've made forever. They hold it in their minds and their ears, and they go back and remember what you said about the specific situation, and they think, you know what, this was really wrong, and they would teach others. This is coming very strong here. You bring justice with how you're able to pick your arguments and then hit it right in the bud. This way, what you say becomes very sound and it sinks in. Pile number 3. You make people hear what they may not want to hear, but it's the truth in such a smart way. Love that. And the reason that I see here the fact that they remember it forever is in that very same card you have the olives, which is known to have polyphenols. One of the fruits that are left in the world with so much polyphenols. And polyphenols, they help you to live a long life. There's longevity, as well as the hawthorn. The hawthorn can live for over 400 years. So there is longevity in your energy. People remember the things you say for a long time, perhaps even forever. You make an impact on people for years and years to come. You're not someone who is easily forgotten by any mean of the word. Pile number 3. Such an impressive character, really. Another thing that makes you stand out is that, we are very sorry, pile number 4. Okay, so another thing that makes you stand out is that, do you see how with the 9 of Swords, remember we said it's a card about perhaps experiencing anxiety, fear, stress, lack of rest. And during these times, you appear to be very tranquil. Do you see how this figure here is beautifully and elegantly holding the threads, all of the threads in her hand within this energy? And I would say that you have it under control. When you're angry, you're stressed, you're dealing with a difficult situation, perhaps with a difficult type of personality, you have it under control. You're not easily triggered and angry. You pick your battles and see how you're gonna, again, the same idea, how you're going to handle this at the right time. People don't easily get a reaction from you. You have this, you're poised, quite confident, quite chilled and relaxed. And again, it's one of the many strong reasons that makes you stand out within people. They know they're gonna experience this calm demeanor from you. And if someone at work wants to discuss something that's stressful, they'll know that you'll probably say, okay, let's think about it carefully. You take it in, you don't panic, you assess the situation, you risk manage things pretty well, and you see what are the next logical steps to be done in a situation like that. Worry later, act now. Kind of demeanor. It definitely makes you stand out as a leader, as someone to listen to and rely on during difficult times. Someone who people love listening to when it comes to you sharing as well your point of view about things, because you're considered wise and calm, and definitely someone to take their opinions from. Pile number 3. Wow, I have a lot of respect for you. Love, love, love your energy. Pile number 3. Now let's take a look at this beautiful justice card. It's one of the cards when it comes to justice that I absolutely love. Because as you can see here, you see 2 hands. Oh, let me adjust that. One holding a black pouch containing seeds, and another one containing a pouch containing another type of seed. And you do see what are you going to plant? Are you going to plant the shadow or the light? And looking at your reading, I would say that everywhere you go, you always choose to leave a mark, because when you plant something, a tree or a plant grows and it stays there for a very long time. Again, longevity. And I feel that wherever you go, not only are you remembered, but you leave your fingerprint. You leave a great mark in a place that you've been. And so if this is about work, then you're not just there trying to make your work in the best way possible, leave and go back home, there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying you do here, the reason you stand out is because you don't just want to do your work. You want to change something to the better. You want to make sure that you leave this place one day so much better and so much forward with the progressive energy here. Forward than it has been when you landed this job or when you entered the job. If you join some sort of group or organization or a cause that is focused on solving something, you're there being proactive, making sure that you truly make a difference, that you don't just participate, but that you help with ideas and ways to truly have an effect. When you have friends, you hold them dear, you have very good discussions or deep discussions, and you have an effect on on this person with whatever you said forever. People always remember you. You always leave a mark in whatever you touch. The way you present yourself, the way you dress, the ideas that you say. That's why I have a lot of people looking at you and see, do you see how this person has their hands on their chin, tilted face, almost presented as very interested in listening and hearing what you have to say and looking at what you're presenting. Very unique character. I totally understand why you stand out, pile number 3. It was such a pleasure doing this reading for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And pile number 3, if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book. You may be interested in it because it's small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate on reading it. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to this book down in the description box. And pile number 3, it was such a pleasure connecting with you and knowing about you. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. So you have chosen the beautiful Sodalite as well as the Bluebell. Let's take a look at your oracle cards first before we take a look at your tarot cards and find out what makes you stand out, pile number 4. So you have you have the beaver. Interesting. Okay. You have father. Talent for creating and supporting life. Positive guide light within a tribal unit. Wow, love this energy. Okay, I'm kind of getting the gist here, but first let's take a look at the rest of your cards. Pile number 4. You have Jupiter in Gemini with bluff. Interesting. I think I'm gonna love this reading. Okay. Now let's take a look at your tarot cards. So pile number 4, you have the 3 of Pentacles. You have the Chariot, right? You have the 5 of Pentacles. You have the Devil. And you have the 10 of Swords. Wow. That is definitely going to be an interesting reading here. So, the first thing I'm noticing straight away from your reading is really uncanny. You have the father here as the archetype in your reading, and then you also have the beaver. And the beaver has the same type of energy, is a hard worker, loyal, family comes first. The beaver kind of has infinite love for family, enthusiasm for family, and expresses its love through earth elements like providing a home, financial stability. So this is coming very strong here. Along with that, I see you being very serious about work. The 3 of Pentacles can indicate work. So, I would say the first thing that makes you stand out, pile number 4, is that you come across as a hard worker, but also someone who you can depend on greatly. You tend to make a great leader, pile number 4. That's one of the things that definitely makes you stand out. I see here in your reading that people can truly depend on you. They can rely on you. Just as bluff suggests here, you are very discerning. Do you see the accuracy? It's the first thing I noticed when we put this card. You get into the nitty-gritty. You have an eye for detail, and you're very discerning, just like the Emperor type of energy. Exactly. You're able to use your experience to attract success, to move forward quickly. You study everything. You are kind of like a teacher as well of some sort. You lead your team, you lead the people around you by showing them how things are done properly. You like to teach them information, and not just how to do things properly, but also information. You pass on your information and make sure that everything is done in a systematic way, that you have your ducks in a row, that everything is going to go well, so that when you launch, things work automatically. And the father energy here that is very apparent in your reading, and this is energy, of course. You could either be a female or a male, it doesn't matter. this energy here shows me strength, especially because of the energy that I'm seeing here. With the 5 of Pentacles, the Devil, and the 10 of Swords, there's a lot of strength to you. And so one of the things that make you stand out is that during tough times when there's lack, during tricky situations where people are being fooled, during times where it's difficult and challenging, people always revert back to you. They know they are holding on to someone who is capable of saving them if you so choose to, of course. They rely and depend on your strength and your intelligence, your calm planning to help take them out of their difficult situations. People constantly call you, hello, pile number 4, I'm stuck in this situation and I don't know what to do. Perhaps you'd think with them, you'd say, so what did you do with your loans? Did you think about paying them off before you do this and this and that? Perhaps it's this that is the bottleneck that you may want to focus on, and do this and do that. I would take a second job. I would do this. I would do that. And they know that amidst their trouble, they'll find comfort in what you're saying. They'll find hope. They'll know that you won't jump in to save them, but you'll definitely save them by providing sound feedback and sound advice to what they can do that would calm their troubled mind. Perhaps you know that they're very skilled in an area and you can offer a job that you've seen in the newspaper, something of that sort. You're definitely there to help and to show people out of the bluff, out of the clouds, out of the lies, out of the out of the illusion that comes with challenges and the difficult situation. Pile number 4. And this is probably why you have the Bluebell. The Bluebell, they used to use its gummy sap in old days to bind books together. And at the same time, it was a great pesticide, I think it's called. It's insecticide, a natural insecticide that would further protect it because it repels all the insects. So again, and of course, let's not forget the Sodalite, all about cerebral thinking. So you provide information, you put it together so well, and you give an educated solution to people, an educated solution to the project you're working on. You study things and think about it thoroughly to make sure that you present something that will stand the test of time. Not just a solution that you can rely on these days, but something that will prove to be a great system for whatever it is that you are working on. Pile number 3. Super impressive. Also, the Bluebell in Finland, they believed that the fairies protected a group of mice by using the Bluebell to ring to them whenever a hungry cat was particularly trying to eat or find food and come and catch them. So the fairies would ring the Bluebells to help save them. Again, the idea of you saving them, not by coming in and fighting for them, but you're a great alarm, because the Bluebells, they're also associated with the throat chakra, by the way, as well. So yes, you provide help through your sound mind. It's like just like the father archetype. The father is not going to come in and hold the child's leg and help it walk, but it's going to provide safety and guidance and advice, information, so that the child can grow independent and do it on their own. And that's what you're here trying to do. You're trying to evoke this independence within them, to rely on themselves, by listening to sound advice that you can offer to them. Pile number 3. So beautiful. And I love this specific 10 of swords. Sorry, yes it is. Sorry, I read thunder. The 10 of swords, because in this specific deck, it shows that when you hit rock bottom, it's where you find the light. And you use the same hardships that brought you down to climb back up. And it shows a lot of wisdom. You can already hear you speaking in this pile. You can already show how you comfort people and slowly but surely show them the light back and show them how they can learn from the difficult situations that they've been in, so that they can climb back up and find their ways back home and find their way up towards their goal, and live happily again, and live with a system that will work forever with the advice that you've provided for them. Pile number 4. In fact, pile number 4 is all about stability. There's such stable energy, earth energy, that exudes from you. Pile number 4, which really shows emperor energy, especially that you have the devil appearing here, which shows your strength of character. The emperor is able to handle any difficult situation, no matter how hard it is, because the emperor is protecting his empire, or their empire. They're protecting the important things to them. They want to do the right thing. And so if there is any corruption or any sort of dishonesty or any playing, the emperor will make sure that they know how to handle this and remove the illusion that is darkening the situation, making it unclear, bring it back to clarity with facts, and never allow that sort of energy to happen. You are very outspoken, of course, due to your protective nature and your emperor energy. You're very outspoken, and you're not afraid of calling things out that are wrong. In fact, you also make use of these situations to further educate later on, to make sure that things transform and go right, moving on forward. And you see, with this explosion in the background, a butterfly has been created, a new gate pathway has been created. And so not only do you handle illusions and dishonesty and corruption in a very good way by showing facts and putting things into perspective, but you also make use of the situation so that things work out in the future well, and that it never happens again. It's like a father giving a teaching lesson to their child. Do you see, when this and this happen, what happens as a consequence? And we have to make sure that we don't follow what doesn't make sense, that we always choose to do the right thing, so that we're living a stable, healthy, happy life. Wow, pile number 4. Who are you? Wow. I think everyone in the world would dream to have a friend or a connection or someone like you in their lives. Such an awesome person to know. Oh, and I've just noticed something as well. Building on that thought, you do see the main figure presenting this specific devil card also grew butterfly wings. And so one of the things that truly make you stand out, pile number 4, is that you don't only stand with strength, just like the emperor, to change things and do it right. I feel like even the people who might have done things that were dishonest or in a corrupted way, they actually transform and learn from you. They feel inspired by you. And so they first come in trying to do the wrong thing. You catch them pretty quickly. You call them off. You show the learning lesson from the situation. You do the right things to rectify it. You're not afraid to, I don't want to say punish, but you're not afraid to, again, I don't even want to say put people in their places. It's not really a punishment, but it's taking away the people who don't deserve to take a position to do something because they didn't care enough about it, and that they might cause destruction in other areas or to other people's lives perhaps. And so you're quick to take whatever action needed. It's not about the emotion here. It's about making sure that you get things going right in your system. And so while in other situations where people say, oh, come on, we don't want to harm this person for doing that, you have a broader vision. If it's not going to harm, you're not going to take action, obviously. But if you can see that this person would be harming a great system, you're definitely not afraid of taking action. Pile number 4, and making sure that constantly the right things are done for the greater good. You have a broad picture to how things are done. Pile number 4, very impressive. And so as a consequence, really the people who deal with you, even the ones who may have caused the challenge, the issue, truly learn from you. You constantly have people around you that are changing. You're changing people and guiding them to the right way, out of the bluff. Pile number 4. You have a lot of hands. It's like you lend a hand. That came in another pile. So if you've heard both piles, I would not be shocked. So yes, there's a lot of hands here showing that you lend a hand. Maybe you're not going to do it for them, but you certainly wouldn't hesitate to lend a hand constantly, helping them just like the fairy help themselves, alerting them to the right direction. So it is this overall emperor demeanor and everything that you bring to the table, your mind, your ideas, your stability, your groundedness. Yeah, a lot of cerebral thinking here, a lot of wisdom, a lot of someone who's very capable, someone who can do anything. It's like, you know how a child sees their father as a superhero? That is how your community sees you, as a real superhero. Someone who they intrinsically respect and is put on a pedestal and deserves to be there, is the kind of air that I see in your reading with your surrounding. Pile number 4. Wow. Pile number 4, it was such an honor and a pleasure doing this reading for you. I have a lot of admiration for you myself. May you always be blessed. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book. You might be interested in it because it's small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate on reading it. but it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And pile number 4, it was such a pleasure, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.